and the puck's down in the corner. So he's completely out of the play, right? So we're trying to show him. So essentially, there's lots of different names for what we call protecting the house, but it's really the box plus one. So you got a D in front of the net, you got a winger, and a D, and the centerman is the support guy. So if the puck's down low, the defense is here, the centerman support the defenseman. If the puck shoots out here, the centerman's got to go support the winger. So essentially the winger, so you almost look at it as this whole thing is divided in 4 parts. This is the winger's responsibility. So if the puck's anywhere in his zone, it's his responsibility to get the puck. Does that make sense? So we call it protecting the house. I think it's because Mike Crowder, who was teaching the boys, he works for National Sports, so it's the Under Armour.
And a lot of times if you leave that on there, what happens a lot is when the puck's over here, one of our wingers is over here, like he said. And then what happens is, if it gets out here, their defense are right here, their defenseman just walks into the slot, or their winger walks into the slot, he's got like an open shot. It happens a lot if you watch our games. Because this guy is just too far out of the play. He has to be over in the middle. And then what happens if we actually get the puck, our guys are sometimes trying to pass it all the way across the ice to here, and it gets picked off in the middle. Where what we want to do is make a little pass like this out to the winger.
Yeah, so ideally, so if we get the puck, now what we're telling the boys is the wingers are here. So we get the puck, we're telling everybody to pass it up to the winger. It's a simple breakout drill. But we're telling these guys to curl over into here and to stop. We don't want anybody leaving the zone before we have full control of the puck. And we can't make a 100-foot pass across because you got to pass it through 3 of their guys. So you'll see a lot of times what these guys do, instinctively they go straight out like that. Instead of curling and picking up a short pass, they're forcing us to make a long stretch pass, which isn't working, obviously.
So, and another thing was happening quite a bit, which I think they're getting a bit better at, I'll take that, is when the puck's here in our own end and our defenseman is here, a lot of times this winger was going back here, right? And that's our center's job. Our center is like our other defenseman. The center is just going to stay in this area right here, that's it. So the winger was going back here, and then he got the puck, and guess what happens? He throws it up here to no one, right? Back to their other team. So that is happening a lot. So we're trying to get our centers to be in there, not the wing. The winger's got to stay up a little bit higher.
So if you guys watch the game today, the hardest position in our end to play is wing. It really, truly is. The defense know where to go, but the hardest position is the winger. So when this puck gets here, they have to be able to pick a puck, maybe it's right against the boards, they have to be able to get it off, get it on their stick, get their head up, figure out where they're going to make that play, do it all while there's a guy coming as fast as he can to stop them from doing that. So it's the most critical part of the breakout, and it's also the hardest part.
Have you noticed, given the age of these kids and the desire, some kids freewheeling out to this area here that then sort of breaks the box?
Yeah.
And maybe some of the other kids in the team don't necessarily know how to transition to there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it happened a few times yesterday. Colin, I think it was one. He went behind the net, and everybody was transitioning with him, and he threw the brakes on and went back the other way to try and find open space, and nobody hustled over to help him out. And he was there all by himself, so it's kind of a tough thing, right?
Part of the thing, too, is like where it all has to start with, if the puck goes deep in our end, like it has to start with everybody first getting back there. And this is kind of thing we're having an issue with too, is we got guys, the puck's over here, we got still guys on this side of the red line trying to get back, our forwards, right? They're over here, they're not sprinting back. If they have a breakaway, they'll sprint to that puck to get it, but they're not sprinting back, so they're not getting back here. So even if we get back here and our guy's not even in this area, it's really tough for us to get it out, right? If a guy comes in on our D and our wingers and centerman, our centerman has to skate the most on the ice because he has to go to both sides, and we're asking him to get back on the goal line with the D. Okay, so not the wingers, but the center has to get all the way back there. So no matter what, if the center's deep over here and it gets turned over, they got to get all the way back here and help out the defense, okay, in this zone, and the wingers got to get back to here, okay, if the puck's in this side. And if they don't get back fast enough, then this whole thing doesn't even work if we get the puck. So that's why a lot of times on the bench we're just screaming like, get back, because it's so critical that they get back fast enough.
So transitioning, just because these kids are going to be back before you know it, but when we get into their end, we're teaching what we call the F1, F2, F3. So there's 3 forwards. It's pretty simple, right? So the puck gets dumped in the corner. F1 chases it down. He's got to go to the guy with the puck as fast as he can. So he's going to interrupt their play. If you think about it going the other way, their typical breakout play, they're going to try and get it up to the wing and then break it out just the same as we are. So F2 goes to the boards to try and intercept that pass. F3 hangs out in the high slot. What we're telling the kids, just because we're in their end, we're still playing defense. We don't have a puck.
We don't have a puck.
We don't have control of the puck, so it's still protecting the house. We're still playing defense. So our defensemen are where they normally are. So the idea is if they try and throw it up the boards, F2 gets it, and then we transition into offense, and F3 goes straight to the front of the net for any rebounds. If the puck comes around, F1 is going to continue to chase the puck. F3's got to quickly come over here, and he basically becomes F2. And they just transition back and forth. So no matter what side of the ice on, they can quickly transition back and forth. And the defense know that they just follow this, they both slide over here and now we're here.
And what typically happens, like before we were teaching this is what was happening. F1, the puck would be here, the first guy in would go for the puck, and the other 2 forwards would go right to the net. Because they think we're going to score, we got to go to the net. So we'd have F2 and F3 right here, right? And their defense gets the puck and there's just no one there. He can just quickly get it out to a wing or whatever. So that was what was happening, and it still happens a bit, right? If both of our guys are right at the net, then they just got a clear lane to get that puck out, right? Or even around this side. We have to have a guy over there, and this guy has to be in the middle. And this guy, F3, is essentially taking away this middle route out here. He's very close to getting it if it comes here, and F2 is getting it along the boards. So their defense has to make a very good decision, right, if he's going to try to go through here with the puck or pass it. He's got to think if he's going to do that, right? And he might go this way, which is probably his smartest route, and we have to really get over there quick. So it's a tough thing for them to learn, but we have to start doing it. Like a lot of teams are already good at it.
Mm-hmm.
You could see the other day they were.
Yep, and I've been saying this for weeks now to the kids. Like, when you guys leave and we do our pregame speech, this is what goes up on the board every time. So, our expectation is it's a pretty simple system. If there's a guy in front of you, if there's only one guy in front of you, he's F1, you must be F2. If there's 2 guys in front of you, you're F3. Go to your spot, right? So that's kind of the expectation. It's the same as Sean was saying with the hustle. It doesn't do us any good if they just coast to the spot. They got to skate as hard as they can and pick up that zone. So
I can't speak for other parents, but I think I'll draw this up for Kate and ask him to explain it to me to see if he understands the system.
The hard part is
maybe a group setting they nod their heads because they want to let their coaches know that they think they know what's going on.
We're pretty good. We usually ask specific kids and we switch it up and make sure, and we haven't had too many wrong answers, I'll tell you that. So, so they get it here, but what we're having the problem is transitioning from here to the ice, because in here you can think about it, you got lots of time. Out there it's a split-second decision, you gotta commit and do something, and that's the hard part. That's why hockey's the hard part.
One thing you'll notice, like yesterday's game in particular, when the puck was in the other team's in their end, right, and their D had it, our guys weren't getting back there fast enough, so this D was just skating it right out. Yeah. And our guys we had some forwards actually turn around skating backwards, which Pat pointed out. Our forward was skating backwards as if he's playing defense instead of they weren't getting up on there fast, and the second guy wasn't up in here. So they were able to actually wheel out really quickly. Half the time they brought it out of their zone by themselves. And it just they ended up with like 5-on-3s and stuff because essentially our guys were not there. They have to be in here, and he wouldn't have been able to do that.
So now I'll go to a couple pet peeves that we have that we're still trying to work on, but we're hoping you guys, if you watch the videos with them, you can help with this. We call them flybys. So puck squirts out here, and their defenseman's got it, and our winger It's his job to get there as fast as he can. But what he does, if you
This
watch
is
a lot of wingers
in our end, right?
they try and go right at the puck and try and chip the puck out so that they're going to go on a clear breakaway. They're already thinking offense, we don't even have the puck yet. So what they do is they chip at the puck, they miss it,
We have a
take
stick,
this
I'll show you.
big long skate loop out in the neutral zone. Now we're playing shorthand. So what we're trying to teach the kids is, here's the house, right?
Sorry, this is in the defensive zone.
So they're doing
This
this.
is
The
their
wingers,
point, man.
if Ben's the defense on the other team, and he's basically got the puck, and he's maybe gonna shoot it on a net or fire it back in, our wingers are coming up and they're going like this. They reach their stick out and they just keep flying right by the guy. And if they miss, essentially he's still got the puck and our guy's way out of the play. Well, what we're trying to get them to do is actually skate right at the guy and basically get our stick on their stick and our body on their body and stop. Just stop in front of him. He can't go through us, right? So what they're doing is they're skating right by all the time, trying to check like this, and they're just totally missing the player.
So two quick things on that. Yesterday was our best game for that. We counted 12 flybys. That's the best performance we've had all year. We've had it in the 20s. So our backup, the goalie that's sitting on the bench, we give him a board, and he basically counts flybys, he counts shots for, and he counts shots against. So 12 is the best flybys we've had in the game, which isn't very good. And literally every game this year, we've been outshot 3-1. Yesterday, the shots were 30-11.
So a flyby is when you do not get to the puck.
Yeah.
The idea is to get here, you always, this is the house, right?
It's just
You-
stick to
you
stick
always stay-
contact, like blade to blade as
Yeah.
you go by.
Right.
No body contact.
But the flyby is when you fail.
Yeah.
Right, and you do.
And you go way past the guy out of the
Take a little
out of the
skate.
play. It's better off just, we want our guys going back and forth like this, back to their position to the player, back like this,
We
not
always got to
a
stay between,
circle.
like the house is the net. We always want their body between the puck
Right.
and the net.
So instead of going fast and looping, if you
Stop.
can't get to the puck, stop and
Yeah.
and impede that.
Just
defense.
be in the guy's way. Anyways, that's it. If we get any more, we'll. We just want you guys to see what we're teaching boys. So.